Nice of you to do this. Great to see you. It's all a little bit of history in a political and digital sense, a new online general election forum. Certainly, I don't think any Prime Minister has ever done this, actually. Theresa May taking part in ITV News' Leaders Live, the first Prime Minister to take questions submitted online via the Facebook Live service. With 40,000 questions submitted in a 50-minute session, what was on viewers' minds? And now, Rich Undar says, why do you want to bring back fox hunting?
Look, this is a subject on which you either are for it or you're against it. I've always supported fox hunting, but crucially, I'm not saying that I'm going to bring it back. What I'm saying is that we'll have a free vote in Parliament.
Have you ever been fox hunting?
No, I've never been fox hunting.
So it's a sort of freedom issue for you?
There's an issue about how you actually cull the fox population.
Now, she didn't unburden herself with the contents of her soon-to-be-published election manifesto, but she gave a clue, maybe. Sam Selden is asking, will you put more money into the NHS on top of what you've already promised?
Well, we'll set out, obviously, when we set out our manifesto later this week, the details of this, but we have put the 10... By 2020, it will be £10 billion extra.
So was there a hint there that there might be some more money?
There was a hint that you might have to wait till the manifesto.
OK. And then a question from someone familiar to us and to her. From Jeremy Corbyn of Islington. He says, hello, Theresa May. As Prime Minister, you've served your elite friends by giving them tax cuts when wages have stagnated. House building is at its lowest since the 1920s. There are 20,000 fewer police on our streets since 2010, and the NHS is in crisis. Do you not think the British people deserve to see he and you debate live and on television?
Well, what I think is more important is actually that I and he take question directly from the voters. I don't think people get much out of seeing politicians sort of having a go at each other. I think people want to hear directly.
Now, this morning, the Prime Minister took questions the old-fashioned way in Abingdon. She was put on the spot by Cathy on benefit payments for the disabled through the introduction of personal independence payments.
We've got a lot of plans for people with mental health,
and learning disabilities, because I've got mild learning disabilities, and I haven't got a carer at the moment. I want my disability living allowance to come back, not have PIPs and get nothing. I can't live on £100 a month. But who's going to help me?
There have been a colossal number of questions on the whole PIP thing. I'm going to ask you one more. Over 60% of PIP assessments are overturned on appeal, which seems to indicate that the assessment process is especially brutal.
Some people say, don't have an assessment process, abolish it, but I don't think that's right. I think we need to make sure that we are seeing the money go to those people who need it. But, of course, we need to constantly be looking at how that process is undertaken so that we make sure that it is a system that is genuinely identifying those who are in need.
John Bramley, he says, as an insulin-dependent diabetic, he's delighted that somebody with his condition has become Prime Minister, and he wondered if you would talk a little bit about what regime you're on.
I will be injecting myself 4 or 5 times a day. You just get into a routine. You depend on that insulin, and you just build that routine into your daily life. But the crucial thing to me is, being a diabetic doesn't stop you from doing anything.
Matt Betts, if Theresa May won this election, how long would you remain as Prime Minister? And this is his substantive point. Will you see Brexit to the very end?
If I'm elected, I will certainly serve my full term.
And just to be clear, if there, you will oversee all the talks that take us out of the EU.
A new Parliament will take us through to 2022, which is 3 years beyond the 2019 deadline, and I will be around.
Many thanks for answering as many questions as you could. I think we've got almost 40,000 in total. Now, you asked your questions from anywhere and everywhere. Here's a Nottingham pub, and I succeeded in putting around 60 of them to her. As for her answers, well, as the emojis flashing across your screen show, they didn't please everyone.